Alright, before we get this episode started, after you watch this, if you enjoy it, please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video and my channel. A big thank you to you for that. Now, here's this week's episode. "2023 coming in for a cabin check." It's Tuesday, and you can see they still got quite a bit of snow up here. It was 82 degrees in Stevens Point and 77 in Wausau. It's now 59. Yeah, 59 degrees up here. All right, catch you at the cabin. You know, I ended up pulling in by the neighbors. Nothing's happening here to get in with the truck. So I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do here. Look how high the snow's piled up over there. Yeah, we saw those deer running right across here. All right, let's take a walk down and try to get a look at the cabin. Oh, holy cow. Look at this snow. Oh, there the deer go. They're down in the front of our yard. I just spooked them again. There they go. Oh yeah, you can see all deer hoof prints in here. We got lots of snow up here. But at least it's melted off by the door. We got some there. So, lake still got ice right up to the shore. This has been dripping here. This is all wet. Oh, that seam is leaking. I hope we didn't have anything back up on the roof. Whoa, look at that dock. They left that in. That got covered with ice. That one got covered with ice. How are these? These aren't too bad. But the ice is still pretty thick here. It's opening up a little bit, but you got solid ice all the way across the lake yet. Middle of April. I think it's going to be a late spring. 2 weeks, or we're going to be able to get the docks in? I don't think so. At least this is melting a little bit here. But man, a ton of snow. And let's get in here and hopefully everything's okay inside. Not good. I got water. Water leaking in right here. Well, looks like we get a new roof this year. Has to be done. Yeah, the wood is all wet here. That wall, it's just seeping down. And some major problems with the roof. We just put new curtains up too. Oh my God, this is all, it all came off here. This is soaking wet. This whole thing is leaking right here really bad. It's not good. Not good at all. Now we got some major repairs to go. Okay, so here's a little better picture of it during the day. The heat's been on all night, so you can see some of the water. It's dried up. It was bigger here. But you can see the damage here underneath the paneling by the window. It all pulled apart, and you can see that you've got a puddle of water here, and you can see it's still trickling in to here right from there. No damage in the ceiling here at all. Just another ice dam had backed up again this year, but this time it's pretty bad. I'll move this to here. You can see how that's all split apart, and from this angle you can see that it pulled away from the wall. Nothing I can do about it right now. There is so much snow in the driveway and everything else. There's a little bit of snow left up on the roof, so that's not too bad, but all I can do is button it up and try to get somebody up here to get it fixed. So look at there, a woodpecker. Actually looks like a blue jay. Sun's coming up and it's definitely going to be time to hit the road.
Now this trip was twofold. One was the cabin check, and the other dealt with turning the last page on the hunting issue of me being on the central Wisconsin acreage. So, after arriving at the trailer in central Wisconsin, I unloaded Craig's rollaway bed. I covered it with a tarp and bungee cord and placed it on the covered porch to keep it out of the elements and dry.
Now, I also left a note for him stating that after our Easter Sunday morning breakfast conversation, or at times lack thereof a conversation, I could only reach the conclusion that along with me not being welcome in central Wisconsin anymore, that he had no intention of ever coming up to the lake cabin anymore either. So that's why I brought his rollaway bed back here to central Wisconsin at his trailer so that he could make better use of it there. But I also put in the letter that if he ever changed his mind, he would always be welcome up at the lake cabin. And with this latest development, I realized that I must move on and grant his wishes. That's all I can do. But I did leave a door open in case he ever wanted to come up to the lake cabin.
Then it was out to the food plot area for my last time to remove the last footprint of mine on the central Wisconsin property.
Weather's been warm enough. I don't see any snow, any ice. In fact, as I'm coming into the low ground here by the swamp, we got water. See? Alright, I'm going to put the camera away and use two hands to get through this swamp and get my blind out of there. Here's the blind. It actually came up once that snow melted. I suppose I got all mud in there. There's still water in there. Oh yeah, there's still a lot of water right in there. I'll have to take care of that. But at least there's no more ice. Time to get to work. We gambled last year. I didn't get a chance to get out, and I figured I'd have a late season hunt. I came out after gun deer season and got the blinds set up and gambled on a late hunt after Christmas, and we had a horrendous winter up here. I don't want to say horrendous, probably more normal than we've been used to the last 10-15 years. But the thing collapsed from the snow and the heavy rain, and then it froze and ice. So, alright, it's 20 after 10. I didn't have the tripod with me, so I couldn't film me taking the blind down. It took me about 40 minutes, and I got it all packed up. So here's a look at the blind, and it's all packed up, ready to go, one load. But the blind itself is shot. About half a dozen of the fiberglass poles busted. So, and there's at least one hole in it for sure where the fiberglass pole came through. So the blind is shot. I'm glad that I saw that other ground blind on sale and bought it a couple of months ago before I was sure of this. So, ooh, long trip. Well, that was a long walk back for sure. Sorry if the camera's shaking. My arms are shaking from pulling that thing. Thank God that the lowland was flooded pretty good. I could pull that and it was floating. It was a lot easier to drag through that water. And once I got through the water, coming back up to get back on the high ground and head back here, I had 3 rest stops too. Whew. Anyways, I'm gonna load up the truck, and then we're heading home. We're done. Bye.
Arriving back at the lake cabin on Tuesday, May 2nd, for the initial yard cleanup for cabin open and to get in my spring turkey hunt, we were greeted to ice cover on our end of the lake. But by Friday, with warming temperatures, most of the ice cover was gone, and what was left was being pushed around the lake by the prevailing winds. And by Friday evening, our lake achieved ice out. No more ice cover anywhere on the lake. Now, Friday was an extensive work day as I blew all the leaves off the lot into our lot line compost pile. I also picked up all the winter debris of dead limbs and branches and stocked the fire pit for burning later. And during the day on Saturday, I worked on uncovering our 12-foot duck boat you see in the background. And I took off the layers of tarps and supports from the bass boat, cleaning up the entire interior of the bass boat also, and finally replacing the newer summer boat cover on the boat. Then later Saturday afternoon, I got the decking put down on the first two dock sections. Now, placing the rest of the dock frames into the water and lining them up and hooking them all up is definitely a two-person job. So I'm waiting for help to arrive later this month to finish it. But I got the dock started, complete with the solar lights too. Not a bad day's work. Now, Sunday was a day of rest for me. Heck, even though mentally I feel like I just got out of high school, physically, this old man's body is telling me, yeah, you can still do it all, everything you used to do as a younger man. But you can't do it all in one day. That'll take 2 days' work with a third day of rest required. So I sat back outside at the campfire and I enjoyed the sights. Heck, I even took time to read a little bit. And Sandy and I even managed a few games of cribbage. Now, I'm not saying who did all the winning, but she looked a lot like this. And I gotta admit, the next day, physically, I felt a heck of a lot better. And it's a good idea that I did rest up yesterday, as my next project on Monday was to get some firewood split for summer campfires. I'd be doing this by hand with my splitting maul, as I need to get my splitter in for repairs. After borrowing it out for wood splitting duties for maple syrup season the last couple of years, well, let's just say it needs a tune-up. Tuesday was cleanup and pack day, and then in the evening, sitting around a crackling campfire. With the first cabin open work accomplished, we'd be heading home tomorrow. We finally got connected with our field claims adjuster and set up a meeting with him for May 17th, so he'll get a look at the damage from the ice dam issue and write up his report.
Now, we did get the insurance guy out here, so he looked at everything. I'm not so sure about the roof. He said the roof's okay, but I'm not convinced of that because he didn't go up and look at that end. He came up the back of the house and just looked at the flat roof from behind, said everything looked okay. I'm not so sure of that. And I told him that. He says, well, if you're going to get it re-roofed, we're not paying for it. But if you're re-roofing it and they find some damage, let us know and we'll write that into the claim. So hopefully that'll be taken care of. But inside, we're getting all new flooring in the kitchen and living room because the tiles are lifting up from the water damage, and because the hallway is the same as the tile in the kitchen and living room, the hallway will be done to match that. All new paneling in the living room area and that to match, and I'm assuming the hallway also because that all ties in. All new ceiling in there also. So it's going to be a busy time up at the cabin here early this season. We want to get this thing knocked down finally. We've got problems always with water issues here. We're going to knock this down below the siding and get a porch built here. I'll probably put some kind of an awning up there to try to keep stuff off of that. And again, that we got to pay for ourselves because that's not necessarily damage from the ice dam. All in all, so far pretty satisfied with the insurance. Just that everything takes a long time. He was here, he wrote up his report, and then he says it'll take anywhere from 2 days to 2 weeks before you see the results from the claim desk. They will take the information off his report, the measurements and all that, figure out what the cost, replacement cost is, and then send me a letter with detailed information about what they're paying for. Then I got to go select the general contractor to come in and do that. Hi everybody, it is Sunday, May 21st. We got up here on Tuesday the 16th, and this is the first video that I'm shooting because I've been so busy up here, working by myself, trying to get everything prepped for the start of the 2023 season. So, here we go. Bass boat. We got bearings greased. Everything was checked out. Batteries are in. Everything seems to be working, with the exception of the power trim, which we knew about. I did manage to make a phone call. That's going to be going in tomorrow morning to get the power trim looked at. As long as he's in here, might as well change the lower unit oil. That hasn't been done in 2 years. But we haven't been using the boat as much last season as we normally do. So that's all ready to go. That goes into the shop tomorrow morning. Excuse me. And I worked on, you saw this thing all covered up with its tent.
So I got it all uncovered and the frame and tarp put away all by myself.
So it's around noon here on Sunday, and I don't want to make a lot of noise with the neighbors. It's pretty quiet around here, so we'll wait till like 1 o'clock or so, and I'll get the blower out. We'll get this cleaned off better. We got the bumpers on. We put the new stickers on for the season. So next thing for the boats is we're going to go today get some gas. So I worked on that all week. Changed the oil in this one. I'm going to cut grass yet before we leave on Monday.
Then, on Sunday afternoon, while Sandy sat outside, I put on a mask and gloves, taped up a plastic sheet, and started to take down the moldy acoustical ceiling tile. Much to my surprise, I found a dry-walled ceiling above the tiles, and it was some kind of nasty. Mold had spread all over the drywall ceiling. And this was not noticed by the insurance adjuster who was just out here. Now he only saw this. And he authorized the removal and replacement of the 12-inch by 12-inch acoustical ceiling tile only. I immediately called him, but never got a return call. When I returned home on Monday, I called my claims rep in Georgia. She said that it wouldn't be a problem. Just get the general contractor to take pictures and get a written estimate for the additional repair cost. Then send that info to the insurance company, and after a review, they will add it to the claim. Little did I know at that time just how long this was going to take. After seeing this additional ice dam issue with the subsealing mold, there was no way I was going to do any inside work until the roof was looked at and repaired. I was now 100% certain that it needed repair. No work inside would even be considered until the roof was fixed. So I got a local contractor to come over and check it out. He agreed that there was ice dam issues with the roof, and he would do the new roof for me. But there was one exception. He felt he couldn't get to it until around the 4th of July. He had so much work. And this is how the fun started. Now, I couldn't even get a general contractor to return any of my calls. Besides, I'd have to tell them, hey, you know what? I'm not sure when you guys could start, as my roof needs to get done first to make sure any leak problems are fixed. Now, as it was, I signed a contract to get the new roof put on and any ice dam repairs made on May 25th, hopefully having it done around the 4th of July. But as it turned out, as busy as all the contractors and roofers are in the area, the roof was not finally completed until July 31st. Now, the one nice thing was I had no problem with the insurance company. The roofer took the pictures, wrote out a repair order with a monetary amount, and the insurance company approved it, and that cost was covered with my claim.
But by now, all the general contractors were booked up for the entire year. Now, I kept trying all year long to try to get a hold of a general contractor and get him in this year, but to no avail. Nobody had any openings for work. Well, on the bright side, the roof won't be leaking anymore, and with this new technology, ice damming will never be a problem again at the cabin. And like I said before, little did I know that this interior work would stretch out into 2024. Let's see, right out here at the end of our other dock, is he still there? Oh, he's gone. We've got a spawning bed right at the edge of the dock. And I was out here before, and we had a big bass on top of that spawning bed. But he's not there now.
Oh, there, yeah. Sometimes it's get a good swear word that no.
I was changing the oil this morning and I hit.
So just a little update to report on what's going on up north in the Northwoods of Wisconsin at the lake cabin. Feel free to comment below, or if you don't want to comment in the public eye, we can also be reached at rapantoutdoors360@gmail.com. Now, if you know somebody you think might enjoy this video series, please feel free to go ahead and share this video or this link with your friend. And as always, whether you fish or hunt, remember, practice CCR. Catch, conserve, replenish. Make sure that that resource is available for future generations. See you next time, guys.